Hey everybody, welcome to Willow's Roots. Morgan here. Thanks for joining me this week. This week I'm going to be talking about kind of what's going on in life right now. It's going to be like a little bit of life chat, a little bit of scripture, just chats with me. So, the Lord has been doing a great, scary work in mine and Steven's life and our family. I like to say great, scary because sometimes when we don't see the full picture, God does, and it's not about us, it's about Him. And so things in the flesh can seem very scary, like, God, what in the world are you doing right now? And He's just like, chill, I got this. Like, I'm God. So here's what's happened, y'all, is that a couple weeks ago, the kids and I went out of town, and driving back home, I felt really burdened driving back home and coming into our house, and I was just like, oof. I just really felt this burden of I don't want to live here anymore. I had all these thoughts running through my head. I didn't really share that with Steven because God really provided this townhome that we're in when we first moved here almost 3 years ago. And I love this townhome. It has been everything and more that we've needed. So I didn't really say anything to Steven. Well, then, a couple days went by, and I was just so fed up with this townhome. If you follow me on Facebook, you saw that we had an ant infestation, y'all, everywhere. In the pantry, up these walls behind me, over here, and the kids' toys. And I'm kind of paranoid about that stuff, so I'm ooh, what can I spray to kill that's not gonna infect my children, you know what I'm saying? So I was pretty much over that. Well, then later that same day, this townhome is old. Milo had scratched off a wood chip from our baseboard, and I found him chewing on it. So at that point, I text Steven, and I was like, I'm done packing boxes today. He's like, oh, whatever, So that night, y'all, I lay down in bed, and it's 10:30. Steven was working a conference, so he still wasn't home. And I get an email from our property management company, and the subject is notice to vacate. Y'all, we're being kicked out of our townhome. It doesn't get more simple than that. We're being kicked out. And so we have until August 31st to get out of this house. So we were just whoa, is that coincidence, or is that God saying He's totally telling us it's time to leave this townhome? So then some other things happened, and it was just closed doors. God just closed up the door. So we were okay, well. So we really started feeling that the Lord wanted us to buy a house. And we're woo, that is a major deal. We would have days where I was on board, Steven wasn't. Steven was on board, I wasn't. A lot of wishy-washy, And Steven says this is the worst time in history to buy a house because the market is booming, and we wanted to be those people that snatched up a killer house when the market crashed. Sorry for all you homeowners out there already, but that was just kind of what we thought would be our plan. And God is just saying it's not our plan, it's His plan. So we are really learning how to trust Him right now. We thought we did, and you think you know how to trust God until your world gets flipped upside down, and then you really learn how to trust God. And so the Lord is just speaking way too clearly. Like Sunday on the way to church, I was like, okay, God, I think we should just rent. Like, it's so much easier. It's not really what I want to do, but I think it's going to be the best decision. I turn on the radio, and the first commercial on the radio is, "Are you looking to buy a house?" And it was a lender company. And I told Steven, I said, unless the radio can just hear my thoughts, like, I really thought that was the Lord speaking to me through the radio. So then, around this whole time, we go through some devotionals in this house, and Stephen opens one, and the title of the devotion is Perfect Timing. So this is what the scripture says. It's Romans 11:33. Oh, the depth of the riches of the wisdom and knowledge of God! How unsearchable his judgments, and his paths beyond tracing out. We can't trace God's path. Only he knows it, and he plans the path for us. And so this whole time, Stephen and I, every day, we're just having to take time out and say, okay, God, not our will be done, but yours. Life is not about our plans, but about your plans. Life is not about material things. It is not about stuff. You know, God even says in the Bible, if you really want to follow me, give away everything you have and come follow me. So we are really learning, like, okay, blah, it is not about us. It is about you. And that is such a hard thing to really grasp and really live by until, like I already said, your world is just shaken up. And then this is all we have to stand on are the words of God. So then another day, God is just like living in, I don't know, he's just like hunting us down because we can't get away from him speaking to us, which is a good thing, I want to say. So then the next day, Stephen opens up his devotion, and the title is A Mighty Faith. The scripture is Luke 17:5, and it simply just says, increase our faith. Just increase our faith. You know, it's like, I don't know whoever watching, whatever you need, but no one lives a perfect life, and I really believe everybody could use an increase of faith. You know, God says the faith of a mustard seed can move mountains. So it's like, what kind of faith do we have in God? You know, Stephen and I going through this process, it's like, okay, we are just not going to worry. We know that he is going to provide a place. We've seen him do it once. We'll see him do it again. And we are just believing, like, God is a God of abundance. He is not a God of lack. Lack is not our problem. I heard someone say recently, you know, place the demand on God because he has the supply. And that was like, yes, he does. God does have the supply. And so we're just praying, like, God, increase our faith. In this time when everything around us seems so uncertain, we're just going to stand on his words and stand on his promise. So through this time, and if you're watching and you're like, you know, how do I hear God's voice? How do I feel him with me? How do I feel him, you know, ordering my steps? Like I said, it's his perfect path. He is planning our paths. Stephen and I are just taking time throughout the day to just say, you know, God, we're taking this time to say, we are here, we trust you, we know you are with us, and we're listening for you, and we're trusting you. And that constantly, like, if you do that throughout your day, it's like you're just inviting God into your day all day long. And that's so awesome. Like, instead of picking up your phone and, you know, feeling that void time with, oh, who can I text? Or let me be like Morgan and call my mom for like the 8th time today because I don't have anyone else to talk to. It's like, put the phone down and just talk to God. Like, he is not this unreachable person. He's not this unreachable being. Like, he is present. He is with us, and he wants to be a part of life with us. So I just encourage you in that today. Let your faith arise. Get your hopes up about something. If there's something out there and you're like, oh, God can't do this, God can't do that, that is a lack of faith. And I just want to break that off of you today. Like, get your hopes up. Let your faith arise. Let God increase your faith. Step out on a limb and just say, okay, God, in a time of uncertainty, all I have is your scripture. All I have are your words. And I'm just going to believe in you for an abundance. I'm going to believe in you for, prosperity and just more of his goodness and more of his presence in your life. So I leave you with that today. Eventually, at some time, I don't know, maybe my background will be like boxes to the ceiling because we'll be moving. But if you're watching, like, just keep us in your thoughts, keep us in your prayers. We still don't have a place to live, so if you want 4 roommates, just get in touch with me. Anyway, that's all I have this week. If you haven't already, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow, share with all your friends, get the word out there. Let's watch videos that build up our faith instead of tear down our confidence or make us want to buy things. That's my little rant. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you next week. Bye.